this was started way back, the first Dan meeting was in 1995. The reason we had that meeting in 1995, Sid Baker and John Pangborn and myself called together 30 very, very capable individuals to start the first Dan think tank and to start us on the track that we're on now, which has brought about the recovery of lots of kids. A major incentive for our doing that was a couple of telephone calls I got starting in about 1993 or so from a mother in Southern California named Cindy Goldenberg. Cindy called me up and she said, Dr. Rimland, I want to tell you that I have an autistic child and I'm determined to bring about his recovery. I've seen 39 doctors so far and I've spent $39,000 and none of them has been able to help me. I said, well, just keep fighting. There are ways of helping the kids and we'll find them and so forth. I gave her a little pep talk. I got a phone call from her again a few months later. She said, I'm the mother that called you that said that I'd seen 39 doctors who did not help me. I found the 40th doctor and he not only has helped me, but he's cured my child. And the 40th doctor was Dr. Sudhir Gupta, professor of medicine at UC Irvine, and he is here this morning, and I'm going to introduce him in just a moment. Cindy Goldenberg and her recovered autistic child are also here.
This is like old home week, and I can't believe 10 years has gone by. I think back 10 years ago when I first got my nose powdered and I got on television, how happy I was to pronounce to the world that my child not only was cured, he was better, and that there is recovery, and that the vaccines, everything that had damaged my boy had been returned to a normal state. And I had all this information, and I remember thinking, you know, I've worked so hard in the first few years. I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have internet or anything like that. And I got this little Xerox paper that said the Autism Institute. And if I didn't have that, and if I didn't have you, Dr. Rimland, I would not be here and Garrett would not be where he was, because you gave me direction and hope and told me exactly what to go do. And even though a lot of the things like what you're doing are like trial and error, it was, at least to me, as I look back, it's about courage. Like the lady here before was talking about standing up. It was about the passion and the courage. And I thought, if this man has dedicated his life, I'll be damned if I don't. So I went out and I tried and did all the things that he talked about. And I knew that I had a normal, healthy boy who was changed after the MMR. I had lab tests to prove it. And this, Dr. Gupta, you don't know. I got to my darkest hour after 9 months, and I know what you all go through. I threw in the towel. And as I drove home from a doctor who was very good, and he was my ally, and I took him all the papers from the research institute, and I said, try for mercury, try for this, try for that. He would tell me, go home, let Garrett's arms heal. You're pricking him too much. We're doing too many blood tests. Well, as I drove home, I remember crying and thinking, I don't want to take another breath. And I went home and I put him down for a nap, and I said, I'm not going to give up. And I started over and I called neuroimmunologists and all these people, and I said, I'll just pay you to hear me and listen to my story that I know my son can be better. And an angel answered the phone, and it was Dr. Gupta, and his secretary was out, and he picked up the phone, and he said, like, calm down, and yes, the immune system, it can affect behavior, why don't you bring him in? And to make a long story short, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bernie, I feel privileged to be invited to this special session. This gave me the opportunity to meet Cindy as well as Garrett after a long, long time. When I saw he was shorter than me, now you see. It's terrific to see that, and I think it gives you a message to all of you here that there is a hope that these children can recover. And out there during these next 2 or 3 days, you'll be hearing from the expert who are trying to help these children. And with each of these modalities, there will be children who will recover. And at this stage, there's no single modality which really cure these children because there are a number of causes for this disease. There are a number of factors that contribute to it. And therefore, what you have to do is that in a methodological way, in a systematic way, you go through these exercises and try one treatment after another. And sometimes you have to try perhaps more than one at a time and keep hope. That's the most important thing is. And always remember, the earlier you start the treatment, no matter what treatment you start, earlier you start the treatment, the better chances you have that those children will recover. So again, I just don't want to take too much time. I just want to thank you, Bernie, and thank you all for coming here and try to gain as much as knowledge from the speakers during this meeting. And Cindy and Garrett, thank you very much. I haven't seen you for so long.
Something to say to you.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be here today. And not only is it a pleasure to be here, it's also a huge honor for me to be standing here as I talk to you all right now. Ever since I was a little boy, I only have good memories. I played a lot of sports, like soccer, hockey, and baseball. I had good friends, and I did well in school. And I even got on the honor roll a few times. And today, I'm a junior at Dana Hills High School. I enjoy my classes. I enjoy going to school dances and driving my new car that I just bought recently. But my passion, my true passion, is filmmaking. I've always enjoyed making music videos and also doing special effects for short films. I'm even taking a film class at Saddleback College right now to get the credit I need so that way I can pursue my dream of attending USC Film School. Yet I don't think any of this would have been possible if it wasn't for Dr. Bernard Rimland and Dr. Gupta, who are standing right here next to me, giving my mom hope and direction. And so, I thank you too. Thank you.
As you know, Lou Diamond Phillips, to his great disappointment, was not able to come. However, we're going to do as much as we can to emulate the wonderful job he did last year in introducing the recovered kids and their parents to the audience. And I guess they're ready to come down and greet us here. They're being led by Steve Edelson and Stan Kurtz. Well, I guess Steve is going to stay back there. Stan is coming down the aisle along with the parents and the kids. One of the kids is his.
A year and a half ago, I was out in the audience, and I remember sitting there, and